His late mother, Catherine, got married to Daniel, Edward's father, at a very young age in the city of Los Angeles. Catherine, Daniel, Liam and Malia grew up together as childhood friends, and Catherine had since childhood been in love with Daniel. But Daniel was never in love with Catherine as he was so much in love with someone else. Both Daniel, Liam and Catherine came from a well-to-do family, but Malia didn't. Liam is actually Daniel's younger sibling, whom Daniel believed their father favored more than him. As they grew, Catherine confessed her feelings to Daniel, who turned her down as he didn't have any feelings for her. Catherine couldn't give up on her feelings for Daniel, and so she kept on trying so hard to get Daniel's attention, but none of her tricks worked as she kept on getting rejected each time. On the other hand, Liam was madly in love with Catherine, and when he made his feelings known to her, he was turned down. Not minding the hurt that came from Daniel turning her down every time, she kept on loving him and hoped that he would be hers someday, and magically, the day came, and she walked down the aisle with Daniel, not being able to contain her joy. Daniel's father's company was on the edge of going bankrupt, and the only saving grace for the Lyons company to be saved was to merge with the Clintons' family company. Jackson Lyon, Daniel's father, sought for help from his friend John Clinton, Catherine's father, to save his company from going bankrupt. The Clintons agreed to merge with the Lyons if their children would get married to each other. This condition was proposed by Catherine to her father, as she thought that was her only opportunity and avenue to make Daniel hers. The Lyons had no other option than to accept and force their first son, Daniel, who never loved Catherine and loved someone else whose identity Daniel didn't disclose, to get married to Catherine. Catherine was all over the moon on her wedding day as her wish finally came true, and she was walking down the aisle with her dream man. As they exchanged vows, Catherine put on a satisfying smile knowing she had finally gotten hold of her dream man, but Daniel, on the other hand, was devastated, and seeing the woman he loved watching as he exchanged marital vows with another woman really hurt. Life with Daniel after their wedding was not what Catherine had anticipated. She never got Daniel's attention as he barely came home. He was most of the times at his secret lover's place whose identity was unknown. Daniel ignored her totally, making her devastated, but she found solace in their friend Malia, who kept on encouraging her that Daniel would change and finally fall in love with her one day. 2 years went by and still yet, Catherine hadn't gotten Daniel to fall in love with her, and his attitude kept on getting worse. Catherine thought if she births Daniel's child, maybe he would change his attitude towards her, and then she decided to get pregnant. The question now is, how is she going to conceive when Daniel hadn't touched her since they got married? She thought over and over again on what to do to make him make love with her, and then she devised a plan which actually worked out for her. She had set up a meeting with Daniel, Daniel's parents and her own parents with one motive in mind. "I want a divorce," Catherine said at the gathering when everyone was seated. Shock was on everyone's face except from that of Catherine. Daniel too was shocked as he didn't know where that statement was coming from, and he was curious to know as to why she had said that. But from another perspective, he was actually glad and happy as this would enable him to become free and be with his lover, but he never knew the trick Catherine was trying to pull. What do you mean by that? Is there anything we need to know?" Daniel's dad asked. "I am tired of Daniel avoiding me. Since we got married 2 years ago, I have been suffering in that house and dying silently. He has never touched me and he barely comes home. I am tired and can't take this anymore. I am filing for divorce soon and I just wanted to carry you along," Catherine had said. "Daniel, is there anything you want to say about this?" Catherine's dad asked. "If divorce is what she wants, I will gladly give her," Daniel said without hesitance, which actually hurt Catherine's feelings. "Since both parties have agreed on getting divorced, then we should go on with that. But I will like to bring to your notice that this divorce will bring an end to our partnership with your company," Catherine's dad said, making a move to leave. "That won't be happening as no divorce is going to happen," Jackson said, making John halt in his steps. "Daniel, I am giving you 2 months to make up with Catherine and get her pregnant. Failure to do that, I will be removing you from my will and transferring the management of the company to your brother Liam." Jackson said knowing Daniel would do what he had said and he wouldn't dare defy his orders. Jackson had Daniel wrapped under his arms and so, Daniel wouldn't dare defy his orders. Daniel and his brother, Liam, had always been in a power tussle. Daniel hated losing and so, he couldn't stand the fact of him losing to his brother and be left with nothing. The only thing he could do to retain the management of the company was to grant his father's wish, and which he did. He made love to Catherine and she got pregnant with Daniel's child. She believed the child would change everything, but she was actually wrong. Despite the fact that Catherine was carrying his child, Daniel still never felt anything for Catherine and he only played along so he wouldn't lose the company to his brother. Catherine cherished her pregnancy period and couldn't wait for her to see her child being held in her arms. Eventually, Catherine gave birth to Edward, and the first time she held Edward in her arms, she felt a kind of connection between them. As she cradled Edward against her chest, she felt a deep sense of peace and contentment, a moment of pure joy amidst the challenges she was having with Daniel. With Edward in her arms, she thought everything was over. All the love and attention she had been craving to get from Daniel would finally be hers, but she never knew that was the beginning of her doom.